Hey there, and welcome. I'm really glad you're here, because today's video might be the one that finally unlocks your English fluency. Let me ask you something. Are you still struggling to speak English fluently, even after months, or maybe years of studying? You've learned the grammar, you've memorized word lists, you've watched hundreds of videos and maybe even taken some courses. But when it's time to speak, nothing comes out. You freeze. You translate in your head, and by the time you think of what to say, the moment's already gone. I know that feeling too well. I've been there. I remember how frustrating it felt. Being able to understand English but not speak it confidently. I'd feel stuck, anxious, and honestly, embarrassed. But something changed, and it wasn't a new textbook or a secret app. It was 5 simple daily habits that completely transformed the way I speak English, and they can do the same for you. Now, here's the truth. Fluency isn't something you magically achieve one day. It's something you build, a little bit at a time, every single day. Just like going to the gym builds your muscles, speaking and listening to English daily builds your fluency. And these 5 habits I'm going to share with you, they're the exact routine I used to train my brain to think, speak, and live in English. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're ready to finally speak English naturally, confidently, and without fear, stick around. Because we're diving into the 5 habits that will make you fluent, faster than you think. Let's get started. All right. Habit 1 is what I call shadow and speak. And honestly, this was the game changer for me. It's simple, it's powerful, and it works, especially if you want to sound natural, confident, and fluent. So, what is it? Shadowing means listening to a native English speaker and immediately repeating what they say, word for word, in real time. You're not just repeating the words, you're copying the rhythm, the tone, the music of their voice. Think of it like karaoke for English fluency. Now, let me tell you why this works so well. We don't just learn languages through reading and grammar rules. We absorb them. And the best way to absorb English is to mimic the way native speakers actually talk. When you shadow someone's voice, your brain starts to pick up on the natural patterns, the way they link words together, how they emphasize certain syllables, how they pause, how their voice rises and falls in a sentence. This is what gives your English that native-like sound. It's not about perfect grammar. It's about flow. I'll be real with you. When I started this, it was rough. I chose a 30-second clip from an English podcast, and I could barely keep up. My tongue felt slow, my brain was scrambling, and I had to pause and rewind a lot. But after 2 weeks of doing this every single day, just 10 minutes a day, something incredible happened. I wasn't just hearing the words, I was feeling them. My mouth knew what to say. My brain stopped translating. It was like my whole system was syncing with real English speech. And here's how you can start doing it too. Pick a short video, podcast, or even a movie clip, around 30 to 60 seconds long. Make sure it has subtitles. Play one sentence. Listen to it. Pause. Then repeat out loud, trying to copy the exact pronunciation and rhythm. Then play it again and shadow it in real time, speaking along with the speaker. Yes, it'll feel awkward at first. Yes, you'll mess up. That's okay. Fluency doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from repetition. Over time, this habit trains your mouth, your ears, and your brain to work together, like a native speaker. And if you're thinking, but I don't sound like them yet, don't worry. You're not supposed to sound perfect. You're supposed to practice. Keep shadowing every day. Even 10 minutes is enough, and you will notice a shift. Your pronunciation will improve, your confidence will grow, and best of all, your brain will start to think in English. Because you're not just learning words, you're learning the music of the language. So if you're serious about sounding fluent, not like a robot, but like a real person, start shadowing today. Trust me. It's one of the most powerful habits you can build. Ready for habit 2? Let's go even deeper. Let's move on to habit 2, and I call this one the input hour. Now listen closely. If you want to become fluent in English fast, this habit is non-negotiable. You've probably heard the phrase, "You are what you eat." Well, in language learning, you speak what you hear. If you're not hearing real, natural English every day, how can you ever expect to speak it fluently? This habit is all about 1 full hour of listening to native-level English every single day. Not just textbook recordings, not slow, robotic narrations. I'm talking about real conversations, real voices, real life. That means YouTube videos, podcasts, TV shows, Netflix series, even interviews or documentaries. Anything where people are talking naturally. And here's the key. No subtitles if possible. I know it's hard. I know your brain wants to read to feel safe. But trust me, when you remove subtitles, your brain wakes up. It starts listening instead of reading. And if you're thinking, but I won't understand everything, good. That's the point. Fluency isn't about understanding every single word. It's about catching the meaning, the rhythm, the tone, and letting your brain adapt. When I first started this habit, I chose a podcast episode, just 20 minutes long. I didn't understand half of it, but I kept going. Day by day, something amazing happened. I started hearing things I had never noticed before. Contractions like gonna, wanna, lemme. Filler words like you know, like, The real flow of spoken English. Fast, messy, but alive. And once my brain got used to this rhythm, my listening improved, my understanding improved, and eventually, my speaking improved. Because guess what? The more natural English you input, the more natural English you'll be able to output. So here's how you can start. Choose 1 hour of natural English content each day. You can break it into chunks, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 at lunch, 20 before bed. Use content you actually enjoy. Comedy, interviews, lifestyle vlogs, anything that keeps you engaged. If you really need subtitles at the beginning, use them sparingly, but always try to go without them as soon as you can. And remember, this is about exposure, not perfection, not tests. Just listen. Let your ears and brain absorb the language like a sponge. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country to hear English every day. You just need to create your own English world. This habit taught me something powerful. Fluency isn't just about practice. It's about immersion, hearing English as it's truly spoken. And once I made this part of my daily life, everything changed. All right, ready for habit 3? This one might surprise you. Let's go. Now let's talk about habit 3. And this one? It's a personal favorite. I call it, talk to yourself. And before you laugh, no, you're not going crazy. In fact, this might be the most powerful thing you can do to build fluency. And here's why. When you talk to yourself in English, something magical happens. You remove the fear. You remove the judgment. It's just you and your voice. No one's correcting you. No one's listening. No pressure. You're free to mess up. Try again, pause, think, restart, and keep going. I started this habit during the most ordinary parts of my day, while I was brushing my teeth, cooking dinner, walking to work. I would just start narrating what I was doing, in English. Okay, I'm chopping onions now. They're making me cry. Again. Or, after dinner, I need to finish that report. Ugh, I hope it doesn't take too long. Simple things. Nothing fancy, but every single sentence I spoke, it added to my fluency. Because guess what? Speaking is a muscle, and just like going to the gym, if you don't use it, you lose it. The more I talked to myself, the easier it became to think in English, without translating. And that's the real goal of fluency, right? Not thinking in your native language and translating every word, but just thinking, directly, in English. At first, it felt awkward. Honestly, I felt a little silly. But after a week, I started having full-on conversations with myself. I should get groceries later, but do I really want to go outside? No, maybe I'll order something, but I'm spending too much lately. Okay, fine. I'll go. But only if I can buy chocolate too. Yes, I argued with myself, in English, and I loved it. It gave me freedom. It gave me fluency. And most importantly, it gave me confidence. Here's how you can start. Pick one part of your day, maybe while getting ready in the morning, and just start talking. What are you doing? What are you planning today? How are you feeling? You don't need fancy vocabulary. You don't need perfect grammar. Just speak. If you want to take it a step further, record yourself. Yes, I know it's uncomfortable, but listening to yourself will help you notice your pronunciation, rhythm, and areas to improve. And here's the truth. If you can't speak to yourself in English, how will you speak to someone else? This habit is your safe space. It's your personal practice zone, and it's one of the fastest ways to turn thoughts into words, fluently. So next time you're walking alone, or waiting for the bus, or staring into the fridge wondering what to eat, just start talking. You'll be amazed how quickly your mind starts flowing in English. All right, ready for habit 4? This one's about something we all use, but few people use it right. Let's go. All right, let's talk about habit 4. And this one changed the way I learn vocabulary forever. I call it 1 new word, 3 sentences. Sounds simple, right? But don't let the simplicity fool you. It's incredibly powerful. See, I used to make the same mistake most learners do. Every day, I'd try to learn 10, 20, sometimes even 50 new words. I'd write them in a notebook. I'd repeat them. I'd try to memorize them. And guess what happened? By the next week, I had forgotten most of them. Gone. Poof. Like they were never there. And I'd beat myself up. Why can't I remember these words? Am I just bad at learning languages? Number. The problem wasn't me. The problem was too many words, too little depth. So one day, I decided to flip the script. Instead of learning more words, I'd learn one. But I'd go deep. And that's when I created this habit. 1 word a day. 3 original sentences. Let's say the word is hesitate. First, I look up the meaning. To pause before doing something, often because you're nervous or unsure. Then, I use it in 3 different personal sentences. I always hesitate before sending long messages. She didn't hesitate to help when I needed her. Why do I hesitate every time I speak in English? And just like that, the word becomes mine. Not just in my memory, but in my real speech. You see, using a word in context, especially in sentences that are true to your life, it makes it stick. You're not just learning the word, you're living it. I still remember the first time I used a new word like overwhelmed in an actual conversation. I didn't hesitate. I didn't overthink. It just came out. And the person I was speaking to understood me perfectly. That moment, it felt like a little victory, because that's what fluency really is. Small wins that add up. So if you're tired of learning lists of vocabulary and forgetting them by tomorrow, try this. 1 word, 3 sentences, every single day. In 30 days, you won't just know 30 new words. You'll have 90 real, personal sentences you can actually use. And trust me, that's the kind of vocabulary that builds real fluency. All right, ready for the final habit? This one will tie everything together. Let's go. And now, we've made it to habit 5. And honestly, this one is the real game changer. I call it the Real Talk Challenge. Because here's the truth. You can shadow, listen, repeat, memorize, and all of that helps. But nothing transforms your fluency like actually using English to connect with real people. I know, it sounds scary. Maybe you're thinking, but what if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? What if I freeze up and forget everything? I get it. I felt all of that too. But listen, real conversation is where fluency lives. That's why the Real Talk Challenge is simple. 1 real or recorded English conversation. Every single day. Now. Let me tell you what that looked like for me. I joined this tiny English WhatsApp group. Just 5 people from 5 different countries. All learning, all nervous. Just like me. At first, I said nothing. I just watched, read the messages, listened to the voice notes, and honestly, I felt like an outsider. But one day, I decided to post a short reply. Just 1 line. The next day, I sent a voice message. It wasn't perfect. My voice was shaky, but the others replied with encouragement, not judgment. And that moment, it shattered my fear. From then on, I made it a mission. Every day I'd talk in English. If I couldn't find someone to speak with, I'd record myself talking about my day and listen back. The more I spoke, the more confident I felt. The fear, it started to fade. The grammar, it started to fix itself. The hesitation, it disappeared. Because here's the thing, speaking is not the final step of fluency. It's the engine that drives it. So if you really want to become fluent fast, you've got to make real talking part of your daily routine. Find a WhatsApp group. Join a Telegram or Discord server. Try language exchange apps. Even chat with an AI voice if that's more comfortable. Whatever you choose, just show up every day and speak. Even if it's 2 minutes. Even if it's messy. Even if your voice shakes. Because that habit, that's the one that takes you from learning English to living in English. So, are you ready to take the Real Talk Challenge? Let's wrap this all up. You made it to the end, and that already shows something powerful. You care about your fluency. You're not here for shortcuts or hacks. You're here to grow. So let me remind you of something simple, but life-changing. Fluency isn't built in some big classroom moment. It's not measured by a test score. It's built quietly, in those small daily habits. When you shadow 1 more sentence, when you listen instead of scroll, when you talk to yourself while doing the dishes, when you use that 1 new word in 3 ways, when you push through the fear and just speak. That's where fluency happens. Not overnight, but every night you show up again. These 5 habits? They're not magic. They won't transform your English in 1 day, but they work, if you do. Because fluency isn't a gift. It's not something some people are just born with. It's a habit, built, broken, rebuilt, daily. So here's my challenge to you. Do these 5 habits for just 21 days. That's it. 3 weeks of consistency. 3 weeks of showing up. And then, see how you feel. See how your confidence shifts. See how English starts to feel less like study and more like living. You've got this. I believe in you. Now, are you ready to commit? If this video gave you even one new idea, hit that like button right now. It helps more learners find these tips. And don't forget to subscribe, because I've got more fluency hacks and real English practice coming your way every week. Now I want to hear from you. Which habit are you going to start today? Is it shadowing? Talking to yourself? Real conversations? Or maybe you've got a daily English habit that's worked wonders for you. Share it in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Let's build this fluency journey together. One day, one habit at a time.